In this video, we will be discussing about the HTML element. An HTML element is defined by a start tag, some content, and end tag. We have what? We have start tag and the end tag. During our previous video, we have demonstrated some of the HTML tags. So all these tags, they are what we call HTML, and this is the general syntax for the HTML tag. We have the tag name, then the contents, then the closing tag name. Now, why HTML element is everything from the start tag to the end tag. This is an example of some of the HTML element. Like for the H1, so now this H1 will display this content. That's the markup. The H1 is the start tag, and my first heading is the content, while the close H1 is the end tag. So this is the general syntax for the HTML element. And this is another tag, an example, which is the P tag. The P tag means paragraph. So now this P is the start tag, while my first paragraph is the content, and the close P is the end tag. Now this is the general syntax for the HTML element. So let's demonstrate what we've discussed earlier. Now for the H1, which is the start tag, we write H1, then we close it, and then we write this is my heading. And now let's see what will be displayed on our web browser. Now this is it. Now this is the content. This is what is marking it out. So now for this is our start tag, and this is the content, and this is the close tag. It's just only the content that will be displayed outside your browser. That's why it's called a markup language. And now for the P tag, you say what? Open tag P. Then we said my first paragraph. My first paragraph. And if you save with Ctrl S and you check our result, you see now you see this H1 is bigger while this paragraph is smaller. We will discuss that in our next video. Some HTML elements have no contents, like the BR tag element. These elements are called the empty tag. They are called what? The empty elements. The empty element. Empty elements do not have an end tag. Like what we've discussed earlier, we have the H1 tag, and we have the P tag. We will notice that they all have the end tags, right? But there are some elements for HTML that they don't have the closing, that they just have the opening, but they don't have the closing, that you don't need to close them. And this HTML element, they are called what? The empty element. What this basically means is that now, for example, now we've seen this is our content here, my first paragraph, and this is my heading. Let's assume that we want this paragraph to come down, to start from new line under this my first. Now on our previous our Word document, that's our editing document software, if I'm to press to click on enter, you see the amount of space that I've inserted here. So now it will reflect on our document, right? But unlike the HTML, no matter how space you've inserted, it will never reflect. Now if I should save now and I go back to my web browser and I refresh, you see that nothing is displaying here. But if I'm to type the BR tag, sorry, let me change it. Yeah, if I type the BR tag like this, BR tag, and then I should save it, and I'll come back to my browser, you see now that the paragraph has started from the new line. So now the essence of this BR tag is to start any text or any sentence or any word that you want to start from a new line. That's when you insert this, and it can be in any part of your HTML content. Is that clear? So now that's the essence for this. Now if you want your statement to start from new line. This is where you start the break tag, and it simply means line breaking. Then we have nested HTML elements. HTML elements can be nested. It means what? That elements can contain other elements. All HTML documents consist of nested HTML elements. What nested element basically means here is that now we have our HTML tag, which is our root element, right? Now we see now that this head tag is under the HTML tag. Now this is what they call nested. That is, any element that can contain any other element is called nested element. We can also see our title tag here. I will see that the title tag is under our head tag. Now it means that the title tag is nested under head tag, and these both tags now, they are now nested under what? They are nested under HTML tags. So that's what it means. Now if you now come down to our body tag again, you will see that we have our h1 and then we have our p tag. Now these two elements, these two tags, they are nested under the body tag. So that's what nested element basically means. Now it means the element that can contain other elements in them. So that's what it basically means. Now, when working on HTML element, there's something that you need to take note, which is what? Never skip the end tag. It means what? Never skip the end tag. Now, if this is an example here. Now we have our body tag, which we've said that the body tag is a tag that accepts all the designing part of our web page, right? Like the videos, the images that we used to see. So they are all designed under the body tag. Now if you see, this is our p tag, and we will notice here that the p tag is doesn't have the what? It doesn't have the end tag, right? So now this is what it's missing. So always make sure you always end your tag. That is, you always end your your tag, except if that particular tag is among the empty tags which we've discussed earlier, like the break tag, which it doesn't need to have the end tag, right? But any other tags that you know that they are not among the empty tags, you should make sure that you end them with the end tags, because all browsers that we are using, like the Firefox, the Google Chrome, the Microsoft Edge, so they all have their own default settings. They all have their own ways on how they interpret web content, right? So that's why it's recommended that you follow the best practice. And the best practice, now if you don't end your paragraph with end tag here, it will still work, but it's not recommended, because sometimes you might be experiencing some error. So that's why it's recommended that you follow the best practice. And the best practice is what? That you should make sure you always end your tags, except if that particular tag is part of the empty tags. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and see you in my next video.